Lions are imposing cats that exhibit unrivaled teamwork among felines. These magnificent predators are world-renowned, and for good reason. The lion is called the king of the jungle, and its majestic mane gives it a regal look. Throughout history, the African lion has represented courage and strength. Lion versus grizzly bear. Who would win a fight between these two apex predators? Some of you may say a bear because of its brute force and aggression. Others might say a lion because of its guile, stealth, and natural-born killer instinct. The outcome of a bear versus lion fight would be different in the forests of the Rocky Mountains than on the African savanna. Of course, lion versus bear remains completely hypothetical. These animals do not overlap, and even if they did, they would probably stay away from each other. Considering the unavoidable size difference between the two, the bear should be hot favorite to win any battle with a lion. Neither can lay claim to being braver than the other, but with varying weapons and skills at their disposal, this fight would be decided on either the fight IQ and strategy of the lion or the merciless attack of the bear. In terms of physical strength, the muscles of the African lion are stronger than that of the grizzly bear. On the other hand, the grizzly bears are heavier, longer, and taller than the African lion. African lions are better hunters and fighters than grizzlies, as African lions face much bigger challenges for its food in the African jungle. The paws of the grizzly are bigger than the African lion, and it is much more helpful to easily swipe in a stronger manner during a fight. A grizzly bear could easily stand with its hind legs for a long time, but the African lion can only stand for a few moments. It is a bigger advantage to the grizzly because it gives it the ability to attack easily. An African male lion normally has the mane that would protect its neck from any kind of heavy swipe from the grizzly bear. The grizzly bear has more fat in its body, and it is helpful for getting rid of the lion paw grip and swipes. Female grizzlies in Yellowstone are around the same size as lions, and in this case, the lion should usually win. However, in a head-on, face-to-face collision, the bear would win. A grizzly bear is way larger and heavier than an African lion. They can weigh twice as much. They can cause more damage to their opponent, even if lions have the upper hand in terms of speed and skill. A grizzly bear's claws are sharper and larger, with the ability to do a good amount of harm. If it comes to a fist fight, they may beat the odds. However, an African lion's teeth can bite to kill. This can stop the prey from making any movement. With its quick reflexes, the lion can deal a decisive blow by lunging at the bear's neck or face. Many cases were seen in which the grizzly bear dominated a male African lion completely in zoos and circus. One such incident happened in a circus where the grizzly bear killed an African lion with its paw swipes within a few minutes. The face of the lion was badly wounded by powerful swipes of the grizzly that causes the death of a lion. According to the doctor's report, the grizzly bear's paw had gone into the lion's skull, causing it to die instantly. Grizzly bears could fight till death. That makes it a truly dangerous predator in the world. Lion versus buffalo. Who would win? Cape buffaloes and lions have a natural rivalry and are often observed engaged in combat. It is believed that Cape buffaloes cause more lion fatalities than any other animal, but the rivalry is not one-sided. Due to their great size and power, a one-on-one encounter between a Cape buffalo and a lion usually results in the lion being defeated. However, a group of lions can overpower a single Cape buffalo by using their collective strength. In some cases, a single lion may be able to take down a calf or an injured buffalo without the help of the pride. When it comes to a one-on-one encounter between a single Cape buffalo and a single lion, the buffalo is almost always victorious. This is primarily due to the Cape buffalo's immense size and strength, which the lion simply cannot match. Moreover, the Cape buffalo has an advantage over the lion in terms of long-distance running. Although the lion is faster at sprinting, the Cape buffalo can outrun it over a longer distance. Another factor that makes the Cape buffalo a challenging prey for lions is the thickness and density of their ribs. Fully grown Cape buffaloes have ribs that are like armor, protecting their chest and organs from the sharp teeth and claws of the lion. Due to their aggressive nature, Cape buffaloes will not back down without putting up a fight. They will utilize their remarkable strength and massive horns to try to toss the attacking lions away, or even gore them, resulting in their demise. Using their thick neck, head, and horns, Cape buffaloes can throw the lion several meters away in the air. Therefore, in a face-off between a Cape buffalo and a lion, the buffalo would always emerge victorious as long as it stands its ground and doesn't retreat. The only chance a lion has to overpower an adult buffalo is by biting its throat or windpipe, which can only happen if the buffalo is knocked off its feet. However, it is almost impossible for a lion to knock down a fully grown buffalo due to its massive weight. Smileodon versus African lion. Who rules the ages? Smileodon and the African lion overlapped in time, but not in place. However, Smileodon did overlap in time and place with the American lion. Smileodon was one of the most successful predators in the Americas during his time, but he had competitors in both the American lion and the dire wolves. Smileodon held his own, and that's impressive considering the American lion was significantly bigger than today's African lion, about 25% bigger. It does lead us to believe that Smileodon would have an advantage over the smaller African lion. However, he didn't have to deal with an animal as fast as today's lion. Many animals were more robust back in Smileodon's time, so he didn't deal with that invincible blend of power and speed and agility that the modern lion possesses. Our lion today is so vicious that he's claimed himself king of an entire continent, but he's always been the biggest cat around. He's never seen someone as big as Smileodon. Lions tend to go after the medium-sized ungulates. They focus on wildebeest and zebras. Smileodon was larger and stronger, and often went for camels and bison that were even bigger than today's bison. At first glance, that appears like Smileodon possesses such an overwhelming power that he'd use this to an extreme advantage. But don't forget, lions take down Cape buffalo sometimes, and those are not only large animals, they're often revered as one of the top 5 most lethal animals in all of Africa. It isn't just about the size of the prey you go after, and it isn't just about the strength you possess. It's also about the strategy you employ. You can't just chase after a Cape buffalo. He will turn around and maim you with his horns. You'd need to be cunning in order to avoid getting fatally injured. It's not to say a Smileodon wasn't cunning, it's just believed the African lion may be more cunning. He's faster and more agile, and he's got a stronger bite. He is powerful too, but he's not as powerful as the Smileodon, he's not as large as him, and he doesn't have 8-inch sabers that he can use in a stabbing motion. In close quarters, a Smileodon could have his way with the African lion. Think of a power boxer against someone more agile. They want to keep the fight close. The Smileodon wants to latch on with his powerful forelimbs and go to work with his saber teeth. The lion would want to be more savvy, dipping and dodging, delivering harsh bites, and then backing away, avoiding getting hurt, and then jumping in with another attack. Lions employ this strategy when fighting one another in the wild. Here's the last part. Lions are never alone. If Smileodon was, then he's no match for an entire pride of lions. But if Smileodon stayed in a group just like lions, then it could go either way. The lions appear to have a slight advantage with their fighting style. Then again, they have never seen the likes of Smileodon. African lions see large animals, but none are predators. They are by far the largest predator in their area. The next largest would either be leopards or hyenas, and lions are more than twice their size. The Smileodon had to compete with other large predators
such as the American lion. So, if he thrived even with that lion, he might not have much problem with this one. And that's where Smileodon's experience in dealing with another large predator leads us to believe that the slight edge goes to Smileodon. Smileodon knows how to handle big lions, and he's just bigger. Typically, the biggest predator is king. That's why the African lion is just that. And he's also lucky that Smileodon died out a while ago and never made his way over to Africa. Otherwise, the lion may have to settle for a position just below king of the jungle.
Lion versus tiger. This is probably the most legendary fight in the animal kingdom. Who is the real king? This ultimate cat fight has happened more times than you might expect. The Romans pitted African lions against Asian tigers in the Colosseum to the rip-roaring pleasure of the plebeians. A few fights were also staged in the early decades of the 20th century, and on several modern occasions, accidental cross-species encounters at zoos have quickly developed into gruesome scenes. Now, let's get back to our big question. In a head-to-head fight, who will win? The lion enjoys the title of undisputed king of the jungle, so the answer to who would win lion versus tiger is obvious. Lions are the kings, right? But I don't think so. No animal can lay greater claim to being king of any jungle than the tiger. Many tiger species' natural habitat is, in fact, a jungle, so it already has an unassailable lead over the lion in the race for jungle royalty supremacy. But before we can definitively conclude which of these carnivorous cats would be victorious in a fatal feline fight, we must cast an objective eye over their respective strengths and weaknesses. Keeping in mind that Siberian tigers are significantly bigger than their closest tiger relatives, this may be a fight that even the most fearless lion would not want. Instead, we nominate the brutish Bengal tiger as the ideal adversary for the lion. Larger than most, but a little closer to a lion's overall size, the Bengal will more than hold its own. It's big enough to brawl, but not so oversized that the bout is over before it begins. A Bengal tiger versus a lion could be the perfect combination to make sure that a massacre is avoided and the event goes past the first few rounds. Let's assume that the combatants in this make-believe battle are male, naturally constructed to stalk and stride across all terrains for tens of miles at a time. The tiger could probably be fight-ready tomorrow. In complete contrast, the lion's short supply of stamina means it will have to do everything to make a tiger versus lion fight a quick knockout. Lions sleep or doze for 16 to 20 hours a day. In comparison to tigers, they have small home territories. They don't need to roam, as their territory provides great food to attract grazers. However, lions can withstand the sun, so maybe if lion versus tiger took place in the midday heat, they would gain an advantage. The social nature of lions may ultimately be their biggest weakness in a brawl with a tiger. According to the Lion Research Center at the University of Minnesota, coalitions of 2 to 3 male lions usually fight as a group against territorial rivals, but tigers always go it alone. This difference affects the two cats' instincts. Considering what I said before, it's likely that a tiger would win. Tigers have a higher average bite force than lions. They are bigger, and they have larger brains than lions relative to their body size. Offhand mentions in the historical records imply that tigers usually came out on top in ancient Rome, and modern fights in captivity typically go that way too. But not every time. Lions and tigers each have their strengths, and the outcome of a given fight completely depends on the individuals, their history, fighting style, and physiology.
Hippopotamus versus lion pride. Who would win? The lion pride is a dangerous and scary entity. The poor zebras and wildebeest They don't have much to protect themselves. But the much larger Cape buffalo, and much more dangerous, they can defend themselves. Though sometimes they still succumb to the power of a lion pride. Yes, the Cape buffalo has horns and the hippopotamus does not, but the hippo is not a Cape buffalo. A Cape buffalo is 2,000 pounds. A small adult male hippo is 4,000. Now the lion pride knows this. There may be 6 or 7 of them, maybe 3 males all around 600 pounds, and 4 females closer to 400. They each have that bite force of 650 psi. They all have that incredibly high muscle mass percentage. They coordinate their attacks well. They communicate well, so every member of the pride knows they have to stay on point as they close in on this hippo from all sides. No one can mess up. Everyone has to keep the objective in mind. As the lions close in, they remain undetected at first, but eventually the hippo sees them. He doesn't flee like the zebra or the wildebeest. He stays put. He knows he weighs over 5,000 pounds, and he outweighs this entire lion pride. The lions would close in and attempt their coordinated attacks, but it won't be like when they go after a zebra. They can't knock this animal down by pouncing on it. They definitely cannot wrap their mouths around that jugular. They're hoping they can do some damage first, like they would do against another lion. Swipes with their claws, bites in various parts of the body. Their teeth will have to sink in far to go past that thick layer of skin. They'll hope to hit meat, vital organs, muscle, bone. Unlike the animals they normally bite into, the hippo's skin is 2 inches thick. That means the 4-inch teeth of the lion have to dig halfway into the hippo's hide before they even pass the skin. And that's if they're even able to deliver bites that deep. As they're trying to do this to weaken the hippo, before pouncing together and trying to bring him down, the hippo is fiercely defending himself. Charging, trampling, lunging with his enormous head. And guess what? The lion isn't the only competitor in this match that can bite. The hippo can too. You might be thinking, so what? A bite from a herbivore? How strong can jaws be that just need to trim the grass? A lot stronger than they have any business being. The lion's bite force is 650 psi. He is outdone by the tiger at 1,050 psi, and the cat with the strongest jaws, the jaguar, at 1,500 psi. The jaguar has some of the strongest jaws on the planet, but he doesn't even make the top 6. The hippo does. 1,800 pounds per square inch of force from the jaws of this mega herbivore. Strong enough to bite clean through a crocodile, because he can, and he has. The hippo is one of the most dangerous animals in all of Africa, and a lot of it has to do with that gigantic mouth. And everyone thought he was just a chubby plant eater. Remember when we said hippos occasionally steal kills from lions? That's because they can, and the lions can't really stop them. If you had a large lion pride, then maybe, but most likely, even with their coordinated efforts, they're not bringing the hippo down. The hippo will either destroy them all, or he'll send them all running off if they're smart enough. We'll give the lion pride a small chance of winning, as there have been rare documented cases of lions taking down an adult hippo, but usually they just manage to get the young hippos. Even that is risky. More often than not, the hippopotamus wins this battle because of his incredible strength. That's plant power right there.
African lion versus Nile crocodile. Who would win a fight between these two titans? Obviously, these two are skilled hunters. When it comes to fighting, they will use their intelligence. In some conditions, crocodiles win over lions, whereas in other conditions we will see lions winning with an upper hand over the crocodile. Both animals are wary of each other, as is common with apex predators. Nile crocodiles are much bigger than lions and have the second strongest known bite in the world, the strongest belonging to its bigger cousin, the saltwater crocodile. In most conditions, lions are successful in killing a crocodile, but they also suffer severe injuries. Any crocodilian versus big cat fight, the crocodile wins in water where it can attract as well as move faster. Alternatively, the lion wins on land where it can dodge the crocodile's attacks, and it began to suffer from the lactic buildup. Sometimes the lion has an upper hand because it is a flexible animal that can jump several feet into the air. The crocodile, on the other hand, is a rigid animal that cannot jump as high as an African lion. When the two animals are fighting, lions mostly pounce on the crocodile's neck, before strangling it to death. Though rare, sometimes lions jump into water to catch crocodiles. Most times, African lions hide in bushes near water points, waiting for crocodiles to come out of the water for basking. The lion is so good at camouflaging with the surroundings that crocodiles don't normally discover they are being trapped until it is too late to run away and hide. The muscle in a crocodile's tail and its coarse and tough hide is also sometimes used as a weapon to defend itself. There are numerous accounts, including videos and photos, of modern big cats killing crocodilians larger than themselves on land. At average weights, the crocodile is only slightly larger than this lion, and the small weight advantage is not enough for it to win on land. The crocodile would need a very big weight advantage to win on land. These two animals have equal chances of winning. The winner is determined by the location of the fight and the first one to attack. If the crocodile is able to bite the lion, the crocodile wins. It has the strongest bite in the animal kingdom and tends to drag its prey into the water and spin it until it drowns. If the lion can successfully evade the bite and land on the crocodile's back, or manage to get it on its belly and bite down, the lion could win.
Komodo dragon versus lion. Who would win? We've seen both our competitors fight against other animals in their respective arenas. We've seen them hunt various prey animals, both going after water buffalo. Poor water buffalo. But it's time for them to meet each other. It's time to push the islands of Indonesia right up alongside the border of Africa and watch these two square off. Both have the apex predator mentality, extreme confidence. As they see one another, they'd be ready to battle, not willing to back down. Both animals get aggressive and territorial, so it wouldn't take long before they were at each other's throats. The Komodo dragon is technically longer, but a lot of his length is tail. He's also lower to the ground. He's heavy, over 300 pounds, but the lion outweighs him. Lions often take down animals bigger than this dragon, but the dragon does the same thing. In fact, that may give an advantage to the Komodo dragon being lower to the ground. The lion is used to lunging onto the backs of gazelles or wildebeest or zebras. This lizard is lower to the ground. The strategy might be somewhat different. Also, the lion is used to hunting in a group. He is used to having his buddies with him. Will he be at a deficit when alone? Not so much. Lions can handle themselves even when they're alone. Oftentimes, lions are seen fighting with rival lions one-on-one. They thrive in their pride, but they are warriors even on their own. This is common practice, especially when other lions try to horn in on a territory. And as we see the lion swoop in, swiping and biting, it looks like he has a massive advantage. He's larger, stronger, faster, more agile, and his bite hurts. But the Komodo dragon's bite hurts too, and it doesn't stop hurting for a long time, maybe ever. All the Komodo dragon has to do is get one good bite in. He can move in fast bursts, he can lunge and bite, chomp down a good-sized hunk of lion meat, maybe even rip his head back and forth and do some damage. But the lion is strong and can probably escape those powerful jaws. But once the bite has been delivered, it may be too late. The interesting thing here is that most animals, once bitten by the Komodo dragon and escaping, they run. The lion may not. The lion is too proud, and he is still an apex predator. He may still fight. He may still end the Komodo dragon. The likeliest scenario is that the lion wins the battle right there in the ring. It's not a certainty, but the lion has an excellent chance to defeat his opponent, and in this case, ending his opponent's life. But it would be tough for the lion to come out of it unscathed. Lions suffer bite wounds and the like when they do battle with other animals in Africa, but they eventually heal from those wounds. In this case, even though the lion wins the battle, he may not win the war. He may limp off, still king of the jungle, but the bacteria and venom delivered from the Komodo dragon may still do him in hours later. The answer to this question, either the lion or Komodo dragon could win the fight right there, but the lion has a better chance. And though the Komodo dragon would lose his life, it doesn't mean afterwards his opponent doesn't do the same. I suppose you could call this fight a draw, or you could say both opponents win. because they both defeated the other. It all depends on when you declare the winner, right away or later on down the road.
Lion versus gorilla. Who would win this fight in the wilds of Africa? The gorilla's large canines are designed not for flesh, but for intimidation, and they still pale in comparison to the predatory teeth of its opponent, the male lion. The silverback gorilla's arms are extremely strong, and even if it doesn't have lion-like claws, they have the ability to use makeshift weapons using the trees and rocks around them. Should a lion dare to attack a silverback head-on, he can use his powerful throwing force to land a serious and possibly fatal blow. Unlike the silverback gorilla, the lion is a predator by nature. While they may not share the same level of intelligence, the lion wields a body built for hunting. The lion's fearsome claws can also rake wounds into the gorilla, even as it struggles against the lion's jaws. The lion, despite its predatorial strengths, leans upon an assassin's technique. Due to his low stamina, he depends heavily upon a stealthy approach in order to take down his foe in a single strike. Finally, I believe the odds are in the gorilla's favor. If the lion can get in close enough and score an accurate bite, he could end the fight before it even begins. However, a gorilla is a mighty foe with more stamina and fearsome strength. Its will to fight will last much longer than a male lion's, and if it gets its hand upon a solid branch, it can put a beating on its feline combatant. So long as the silverback manages to evade a lion's bite and its scratches remain superficial, he can use his powerful punches and throws to score a hit that will lay the lion low.
Liiger versus lion. Who would win a fight between these two legendary big cats? The most important comparison between a liiger and a lion is the weight of both animals. A liiger is a large animal that is much larger in both size and weight than a lion. A liiger weighs twice as much as a lion and is twice the size of the lion. The presence of a mane is one of the characteristics shared by a liiger and a lion. Lions were previously the only cats in the big cat family with manes around their necks, until the arrival of the liigers. The liigers have now emerged as big cats with manes around their necks. A liiger's mane, on the other hand, is typically smaller in size than a lion's mane. It's also worth noting that not all liigers have manes around their necks. The head of a liiger is thought to be nearly twice the size of that of a lion. A larger head size also means larger jaws and massive biting power. The big cat family heavily relies on agility. Speed is a key characteristic that defines a big cat's agility. However, a liiger's large size does not make it any more agile than a lion. We've seen in big cats that the bigger the cat, the less agile it is, and the same is true in the liiger versus lion comparison. As a result, a lion is more agile than a liiger. A liiger is also very calm and less aggressive as compared to a lion. Lions, on the other hand, are highly territorial, and they always tend to maintain their dominance by territory gained. Lions are social animals with a well-defined social structure. However, in one-on-one combat, the liiger would be heavier and stronger than its parents. It may fail in a fight with a large male lion with a fully developed mane, especially if the fight is for mating. The personalities and attitudes of each big cat differ even within the same species. Some are less aggressive, while others are very daring and aggressive and fueled with aggression. So many factors count other than size alone, and keep in mind that liigers were never in the wild. Fighting is an instinct, and it is known that hybrid animals are totally screwy when it comes to instinctive behaviors. Liigers would most likely lack or have a confused fighting instinct. However, there are two reasons that a liiger would fight a lion. One is over mating rights,
and one is over food. For mating rights, the lion has the upper hand. For food, Liiger's being bigger and might be able to just knock a lion.